Room has ended. All right, I guess I'll wait till we go try to get.
Yo, I thought maybe we wouldn't even be
I
able to
know.
get. Hmm? Yeah, yeah.
I was like, I know you over there sweating.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yo, I didn't know it was gonna work out, you know? I was like, really? Let me try again.
I appreciate you trying again because I kept hearting each room, just like, let me just send a heart. I'm rooting for you, symbolic.
Thank you. I maybe that's probably why it worked. I was like, yo, this isn't happening. Let me try again. But what the definition of insanity is trying the same thing again. But then it worked. Hey.
Hey, not much you can do except keep trying.
For real. For real. I just invited Seedverse up to speak, up to co-host this week. Seedverse, our friends at Seedverse are going to be helping us guiding us through conversations, all things cannabis adjacent. How you doing, Seedverse?
Hey, what's going on, Symbolic, Black NFT?
Hey,
How y'all doing, family?
pretty good. I'm out here with no power, but I've lived in the hills of Jamaica. I'm good. I'm fine. I looked it up. I didn't know, and then it was just out for a while. And then when we looked it up in the house, it was like it's gonna be till 3 o'clock, 3:30 our time. So
Okay,
whatever.
that was
It's
that was causing the issue for the Twitter Spaces.
I don't know. It might have been a part of it because the we don't have Wi-Fi, but I was just like, no problem. I'll just go data. So I don't know. My data should handle it.
Yeah, should.
Yeah, should.
Severus, I don't know if you know, but it's not really a room if it don't get rugged by Kwame. You know what I mean? Like a prerequisite.
Okay,
Wow.
certified.
I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it. Yo, it's a part of the experience, y'all. It's a part of the experience. You know what I mean? That's how you know you're early in this technology because, you get rugged and stuff and you figure it out. And then later on when people are like, "Oh no, I can't live without it." You're like, "Man, back in the days when Symbolic used to rug the rooms because of his Canadian internet, it's cool. It's all cool."
Oh man, that's classic.
Yo, it's so good to be here and to be here with Seed Verse, of course. We got IV produced She Bites with us. Thank you all for being here. Everyone who's in the house, Queen Mercy Manifests. Yeah, shout outs to you. Shout outs. Yo, Tech Misfits, y'all. If you don't know Tech Misfits yet, is getting, Leighton, you need to be put on. Black Chamber. Sorry, Chamber of Black. I'm gonna invite you up. Oh, someone already did it. Thank you. Yeah. So shout out to everyone. Our guy Resty. We've got this streaming on the Umbadaima YouTube. So if you haven't gone to the YouTube, I'm not saying I'd rather you be here right now, but if you're just out and about, this is going to be streaming. Our shows are all going to be streaming. It's got a beautiful visual that you can just check it out if you're not able to be live in the room, and then you'll be able to check it out after the fact. So make sure you go to Umbadaima YouTube and follow, and hit all the bells. Word.
So,
Some housekeeping. Yeah. Sorry. What's going on there? Go on.
no, I was just reaffirming what you were saying for sure. Make sure that happens.
Right. Word. So I think we should just get into this talk. We've got gurus. We got the gurus of cannabis technology, and network and industry in the house. So thank you for being here. Black NFT, BNA Community Hangout. Today is the 5th of September. So a time of a lot's changing. We're basically through this summer, and it's a very special. Let's get into it.
Hey, Symbolic, I don't know if that's just you, but I'm getting a decent amount of lag from your end.
Hey man, my
Really?
man power, he on data. You know what I'm saying? Give my man a break. Feel me?
Oh shit.
You going in so hard on symbolic today. I want
Oh,
you to
man, do
stop.
it again.
Yeah, we struggling over here, but we good.
Oh, man, in his honor, out here struggling, making it happen. He performing miracles. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh. Well, yo, if there's a lag, then I'm gonna say less. Yo, Vaughn, yo, let's take it away.
All right, bet. Yeah, thanks for the mic, Symbolic. Blessings, everyone. Thank you for coming to the BNA Community Hangout with Ceed Inc. My name is Trayvon Dorsey. You guys can call me Vaughn. I am the co-founder and COO of Ceed Inc., which is a new and emerging digital cannabis company that provides an ecosystem for Black entrepreneurs to have the upper hand, finally, in the cannabis industry. We help Black entrepreneurs build, start, and grow cannabis aligned and cannabis adjacent and businesses with intentionality and the purpose of passing on not only their products, services, and relationships to their legacy. We good? We good? Okay. So we are a tech company first, and we're focused on the cannabis industry. And our main focus is getting Black entrepreneurs to integrate within this new and emerging industry. And I know the word new might seem a little gray because the cannabis industry has been around for a little minute. But when you look at the medical sense and the recreational sense, cannabis is brand new. We're talking about 2016 recreational. And, we could go back to the first medical state, California being 1999. But it wasn't until 2013 or 14, really, where you had multiple states legalizing cannabis on a medical basis. So we are here to make sure that Black entrepreneurs are represented the right way. Black entrepreneurs receive the right resources needed to start their journey, educate themselves on the history, the science of cannabis, as well as getting our ownership up. Each time I look up, our percentage has fallen. We went from 4% to now 2% ownership. And it's quite ridiculous if you ask me, because we are one of the greatest consumers. And this can be said about multiple industries, specifically in America. Black people are a large part of the consumption or the consumer fashion, but we need to be head of the ownership. So that's exactly what we're doing. My wife and I started the Ceed Inc. business after we were wrongfully denied a cannabis license. I do see Shebai's hand up. Do you want to spit real quick?
Yes, yes. I think this is our first time talking, Vaughn. Like I've seen
So,
you like my posts and everything and really support. So thank you so much for that. I just wanted to say, like, as far as somebody that has studied like extensively, like my graduate degree, I did behavioral pharmacology and talking about the molecular structure of cannabinoids and the history.
it goes
Um,
deep.
what is the like I know you said this is finally our time to kind of like be able to take that leadership role when it comes to cannabis. Can you talk a little bit more about the precedence of this, because I don't know that everybody understands like that stigma against the Black community and cannabis runs so deep and so far
Yeah.
back.
I mean, the stigma is present, and you're not really going to pay attention to it unless you really ingrain yourself within the culture, because we're fighting through stigmas, we're fighting through prohibition, we're fighting through policies that were created to keep cannabis away from people, and specifically Black people. When we look at the laws that were created, the 94 crime bill, this was a bill that locked away more than 2 million Black men. When you look at all other forms of bills and policies, a lot of them were used to control how we thought about cannabis. And those are really the first, like, those are really the first barriers that you come against when it comes to cannabis. So beyond the warfare, there is spiritual warfare happening, but there's multiple forms of warfare that are occurring against Black entrepreneurs, and we go hard for Black entrepreneurs specifically. Our platform is for everyone, but we want Black entrepreneurs to know that this is a spot, or this is a platform that caters to you, where you have your firsthand of understanding cannabis, uh, building your own business, partnering with different affiliates. Queen, I see your hand. What's up?
So we skipped over a lot. And before we jump all the way forward with like the history and everything, so let me just introduce myself because my husband did not. I am Queen Mercy. I'm the CEO and co-founder of the Ceed Inc., the actual company, the corporation, and then Ceedverse, which is our digital universe in this Web3 space. And that's why we really just I want to back it up just a second so people can get a full understanding of what we're offering here. Ceed Inc. is the corporation, right? That's the business part of this. But Ceedverse is our Web3 space and the community that we're building to inspire hope, action, and, some type of building generational wealth through community contributions and everything together. So what we'll be doing today is I'm going to see if we can go ahead and post one of our NFT images, if we can share it in the community. But also we have an NFT campaign, a collection that's launching this week. And so what we hope to do with the NFT collection is to actually inspire people to, each of the different characters has different superpowers and things like that are actually powered by cannabis. So we want to inspire people to really get behind whichever character is their favorite or whichever characters are their favorite. But before we even get into all of that, just understanding that this is bigger than us. So I know Vaughn was talking about the 2.2 million Black men. Of course, that's Bill Clinton and your current president, Joseph Biden, signing that 94 crime bill into law, which locked those Black men up. But if we take it even further back, we're talking about centuries of discrimination and actually innovation from the Black side, the African side, because we were the first to invent wet and dry pipes for smoking and dosing cannabis inhalation back in Africa. Those were our ancestors. And then we traveled and brought hemp and cannabis here to the Americas through the transatlantic slave trade. So we're talking about historically having cannabis in our medicinal, traditions, and then bringing that here to the Americas. And then even before the 94 crime bill, we're talking about, of course, the emergence of the whole, the 1920s and moving forward, that whole reefer madness and, the jazz musicians smoking cannabis, even though it was, prohibited at that point in time, and really not wanting, white females to be congregating with the Black jazz musicians. And then, of course, Henry Anslinger and Richard Nixon, and then all of those, very nasty propaganda type, discriminatory stories and movies and things that, America is really the country that decided that cannabis was the enemy, just as they decided that Black people were the enemy. And that's when we really start looking at that discrimination. So I just wanted to back us up a little bit, introduce myself so you guys could know who I am. And then, of course, we can dive right back into where Vaughn was with the almost current day, within the past 20 to 30 years, how cannabis has been completely, vilified. There's so much symmetry between the mistreatment of the cannabis plant and the Black community. That was definitely one of the reasons why Vaughn and I decided that we were going to move forward with building something like this ecosystem. And yes, we welcome allies on the Ceed platform, but first and foremost, we are for Black people, by Black people, and we are here to advance our positioning in cannabis. And with that, I'm going to cut my mic off.
Nah, for sure, that was strong. I appreciate that, wife. Yeah, definitely have to have her on some of these calls to get me in line. But back to what Shebais was talking about. I was talking about the policies and how it was really the before the policies had taken place, it was the propaganda from the media. Queen Mercy had mentioned the Reefer Madness movie that went out in the late 30s, and you know, at the same time, you know, they had a lot of other black exploitation movies, not starring black people, of course, but this was in the 1920s, 1930s, but they had movies and depictions of blacks using cannabis in the most derogatory way. And that ultimately shifted the minds of the American people, actually people around the world, and that gave the government its outlet or its scope into introducing policies. You know, it prohibitions. People talk about the war on drugs starting in the 70s with Nixon. It started before then. It started with Democratic presidents going back to the Boggs Act and then being handed to Republican led presidents with the Narcotic Control Act and then the Substance Control Act, where they're putting more controls on this drug or this plant, but also putting further stipulations or giving states more stipulations on if you bring more, if you put more people into prisons, we're going to give you an incentive to give you more money. So more states would police our neighborhoods, would lock us up, and that gave them the money they needed to increase, uh, you know, their law enforcement and everything else. So, Shebaz, I hope I answered your question. You know, I'm glad you asked that. Could you speak up and let me know?
Yes, yes. I mean, between you and Queen Mercy, like I got a whole history lesson. And you know what's crazy is that when I was taking behavioral pharmacology, there was a little bit, you know what I'm saying? There was a little bit about it and how a lot of the propaganda was misguiding and but the teacher wouldn't call it racist. Like it was kind of left for us to read between the lines. But I feel like there's a lot that needs to be put out there in those history books
Right.
about how a lot of this propaganda has been really like just detrimental to the Black community in particular. But yes, thank you so much,
Wait, wait.
Mercy
No
and
problem.
Vaughn.
Ivy, I'm gonna get you in 1 second. I wanted to just touch a little on what She Bites was saying. You know, it is detrimental. You know, and cannabis, you know, cannabis is synonymous with black pain, and that shouldn't be the case. When the first thing these social media and even just the cannabis industry speaks on is reform policies, but also they talk about how black people are 4 times or 3 times, five, six, seven, 10 times more likely to be arrested and charged with cannabis. These are all negative depictions and stereotypes that are keeping us away from the industry and not even just entering. And then when we talk about trying to enter the industry, our percentages and it's just 2%. When you see the sheer amount of media come out or go out, you see them talking about black entrepreneurs hit another barrier, a financial barrier, licensing fees, lack of resources, everything being pushed out is stopping us from getting into the industry instead of there being resources and tools and an actual business or company or people out there that is trying and lending their hand to help us. IV, what's up?
Yo, I was gonna say, kind of on what Shebite asked or what Shebite says. Your teacher said that she wouldn't go so far as to say that it was racist, but it absolutely was racist. Back in the 30s, I want to say like 1937, when Harry Anslinger, they weren't really making a lot of money or they weren't making a lot of arrests, getting people for cocaine, and so they looked and they saw that blacks and immigrants were the main ones that used cannabis or reefer or marijuana. And at that time, marijuana was not what it was called. It was called cannabis. That's the scientific name for it. It's cannabis. And marijuana was a term that they used to kind of differentiate it and associate it with immigrants and black people. Marijuana kind of sounds Spanish, right? Um, and so uh, they because they had to go through court to make some different laws to try to discourage the use of cannabis and marijuana. And so when doctors were asked to come to testify in favor of marijuana, they did not know what marijuana was because what they were used to was cannabis. And so because nobody really knew what marijuana was, there weren't many people that could come to defend it, that could defend the plant. And so then, uh, Harry Anslinger and the DEA, they were able to go ahead and make cannabis a Schedule One substance, and Schedule One is a substance that has no accepted medical use and a high potential for abuse, right? Like, and it's a dangerous substance. Where if you look around, there's like at least 33 states that have approved cannabis for medical use. If there's at least 33 states that have legalize cannabis for medical use, how can we say that this is a Schedule One subject that has no medicinal value? It doesn't really make sense. It's contradictory. It has no medicinal value, yet there's 33, 35 states that have legalized it for medicinal use, right? So, yes, it was absolutely. It was villainized and it was stigmatized politically, and it absolutely was done. It had a racial intent or grounding behind the fact that it's illegal and stigmatized in such a way. So, yeah, I yield the floor.
Yeah, most definitely. And shout out for that cannabis history. It's really all about understanding where we've come from in order to know where we're going. So appreciate that, Ivy. Just touching on like the culture of cannabis, even the culture is saturated with, racist ideologies. And certain people, people within the culture, the cannabis industry don't even understand this. When I first got a managing job at a dispensary, one of the first books they were referencing us to read was The Emperor Wears Clothes. And, it was very knowledgeable. It gave us these historical facts and, their narrative, but it talked about Black people in a way that was odd. Like it would talk about, it even had the quote, cannabis makes the darkies think they're better. So it's just odd, seeing these type of depictions in, what we call cannabis culture today. So we're really trying to shift the narrative forward, and make sure that everyone, including Black entrepreneurs, understand their prominence and their history when it comes to cannabis, because we have a deep history when it comes to this plant. Queen Mercy touched on this just momentarily, talking about how African slaves brought over cannabis throughout the transatlantic slave trade. You can read more about that in the African roots to marijuana. The author is a geologist, and he talks about how there were, European notes that depicted African slaves carrying seeds and putting seeds within dolls. So they saw that this was happening not only on the continent of Africa, but as they were brought to South America and Jamaica and the islands, they were seeing multiple people have these dolls and within them seeds. And when you understand um, the importance of the hemp seed, you understand why they brought those with them. They didn't bring them just to grow the seed. They brought them as a survival method. Hemp seeds are extremely nutritious. I know or excuse me, I was about to say the Digital Railroad knows it. My bad, brother. But some other brothers we've talked to understand the the impact that hemp seeds actually have when you ingest them. They're full of proteins, fatty acids, and they can sustain you throughout an entire trip that would be, what happened during the transatlantic slave trade. So, really understanding how this plant got here, how it's, people to plant relationship happen, because plants just don't grow everywhere. They have to have a trail, they have to have a reason to get to certain places. So, you know, this history is deep. I want to go further into the history, but I want to make sure that I'm not going on a tangent. I know we started off a little late, so Symbolic, can you get me back on track before I start spitting more historical facts?
Nah, you're good. I think this is very appropriate. I mean, I have some questions as well, but I don't. The one thing I will say is just a little pause. We are here. We have Tech Misfits right beside you there. Tech Misfits is an amazing project that Umbadaima is doing, and the goal is to we are creating an app, and that app is going to be the most diverse. We're building the most diverse tech network on Earth. And so there will be an NFT, a Tech Misfits NFT. They are brilliant, they're beautiful, but the project is more than that. It's about connecting to the app, which is going to allow people to find mentors, for example, skills development opportunities, as well as for companies and founders to find skilled talent. So right now you can get on the wait list, get a chance to get a free Tech Misfits. That's a $250 value, and there is definitely utility to that. And I don't mean that lightly. I think diversity in tech is one of those things, and we really need to be in there, just like we really need to be into the cannabis for those who who are so inclined, who gravitate towards that. Yeah, I see. Queen Mercy has your hand up, please.
Yes, let's go. Okay, so Ceed actually bridges the gap between cannabis, tech, and community, right? So now that let's talk about how that works. Ceed Inc., our actual platform, our bread and butter, the baby that we're building is a digital ecosystem that helps Black entrepreneurs who are in cannabis or adjacent to cannabis. That means either you're touching the plant directly or you're not directly touching the plant, because let's be real, cannabis businesses need the same amount of support and capabilities that every other business needs. So that's legal, that's media, that's marketing, advertising, that's accounting, all of the above and further and beyond, right? It goes beyond just growing, processing, distributing, and retailing. Those are all plant touching. Those are all plant touching opportunities. But when it comes to ancillary businesses, those are the marketings, the marketers, the lifestyle brands, influencers, media outlets. Those are the accountants, the lawyers, the financiers. We need investors. We need land. We need available farmland, etc. There's so much out there that cannabis businesses need, that when Vaughn and I were going through the minority medical round of licensing for the state of Maryland, pretty much you have to have 5 million, guaranteed, and up to 20 million fundraised for your property, for your grow. In order to become a grower, you need, these are the types of resources that you need to be able to go in and network and shake hands and rub elbows with your state representatives and lawmakers, people who are actually effectuating cannabis law change in your state. And if you don't have accessibility to those circles, or accessibility to purchase or leased land, or the wherewithal, or even the time to create SOPs, standard operating procedures, building a business plan, building a 10-member team of people who are going to be able to help you manage your business and grow your business, getting licensed to become a cannabis business owner, is that the hurdles that our people have to overcome are typically so high that many of us won't actually meet the measure, right? We won't actually meet the mark. So even though Trey and I, Von and I, we had all of those resources available, we were able to acquire the funds, we were able to bring on the investors, right? We've now at this point, we know how to get investors to back our ideas because we've been in this game a little bit long enough, to kind of say, hey, this is what we want to do. Let me get you excited about what I'm doing. And you put your money behind us and we promise you we'll make a return for your money. That's basically what you're saying when you go to investors. But, everybody hasn't been to business school. Everybody hasn't negotiated multi-million-dollar deals. Everybody hasn't been in tech or rubbed elbows with politicians or been in political circles. And some people aren't even comfortable with that. There are so many obstacles to becoming a cannabis business owner if you're talking about licensing that the hurdles can be astronomical. So really, we built the Ceed platform. This is Trey's baby. He built the Ceed platform, the original Ceed platform, spent over $50,000 of our money and built the original Ceed platform. And that was PHP, it was really clunky. We had an outsourced person do that. And then, okay, this last year we were like, okay, let's flip this thing. Let's make it, cloud-based. Let's do all that great stuff. And then let's reward people with crypto. And then as we went along, we were like, oh, hold on, let's actually fundraise with crypto because we aren't able to get on any of the payment processors. Stripe denied us, PayPal denied us, we couldn't even fundraise through regular fundraising sites, such as Start Engine, Crowdfire, Fund Her, or Fund Black Founders, any of those websites, because they use the same payment processors. And anytime you mention cannabis in your business ethos, in your business anything, hell, we had problems just trademarking some of our stuff because cannabis is still federally regulated. So that's just some of the hurdles that cannabis businesses are going to face. So that's why we built the Ceed platform, and that's how we ultimately transferred and kind of shifted our energy from doing regular fundraising to fundraising through NFTs, fundraising, doing community fundraising. And it just worked out so much better because our ethos. So in case you guys don't know, our mission is to inspire and influence 3 million new cannabis brands, Black-owned cannabis brands, into the industry. And that could be cannabis aligned, that could be directly plant touching or non-plant touching. But we are here to inspire and influence 3 million brand new cannabis aligned brands into the industry by year 2052. By year 2052, all estimates and statisticians and economic data states that our median household wealth is going to fall to zero. That means half of us are going to be beyond zero and half of us are going to be below zero. We're going to have negative wealth and asset ownership. And that is not something that we can allow to happen. So with this, we're saying, hey, with the emergence of tech, with the emergence of Black culture and our multi-trillion-dollar spending power, we can innovate. We can inspire people to innovate in the cannabis industry. Do you realize that the hemp plant has over 50,000 commercial uses? And we are only using like 10 of those, right? We got hemp rolling papers, we got flour, we got oil, we got some hemp food, the hemp oils that you can add to your food and flour that you can add to your food and all of that. That's great. All good, all great. We're not taking that away from anybody. But what else can we build on this, right? Did you guys know that the first T model, Ford's T model, used hemp mesh panels, used hemp in their in the construction of the vehicle? So we're talking about your dollar is built on hemp paper. The U.S. Constitution is built on hemp paper. The sails that tied the ropes to the ships that brought our ancestors over here were hemp ropes. Those were hemp fibers. Hemp can be used in so many different ways. I mean, for clothing, for shoes, for solar panels, for food and medicine and nutrition. And I'm not even talking about the full spectrum of the cannabis plant. Hemp is just the cannabis plant with the psychoactive effects removed from it. So if we're talking about the diversity of the plant and the diversity of our community, it can go as far as your brain will allow it to, as far as your imagination will allow it to. So we really want to inspire people to think beyond rolling papers, flour, and oils and edibles. Right? We really want people to think above and beyond, like, okay, if I took hemp, which is one of the strongest, most durable, and softest fibers in the world, available to us, point blank, period. If I took that and I used it to, create a new line of sportswear or athletic wear, if I created my own tennis shoes or sneakers, hell, even if I just created a new hemp paper, right? Just hemp paper in itself would change the world. Do you know how much paper we use? And do you know how much deforestation is happening right now to keep us in alignment with the amount of paper that we use? Whereas if we were to stop deforesting our tree, if we were to stop knocking down trees and deforesting all of the forest areas that we have around the world, we could grow hemp. And in 3 to 4 months, 1 acre of hemp, 1 acre, can clear 40,000 metric tons of carbon dioxide from the air. Not to mention that hemp stalk will grow within 3 to 4 months, and we're not knocking down any trees. So if we're talking about green, renewable energy, things that are great for the planet, if we're talking about recycling and reusing, if we're talking about curbing CO2 emissions, and trying to keep Earth habitable as opposed to, trying to travel to space and find new planets to inhabit, then we're talking about replacing bad practices with good practices, and growing hemp and using hemp and every single portion of the hemp development, usage, processing, and everything. Even very low quality hemp can still be used. All of this is green, renewable, recyclable. It's great for the environment, and not to and then you can get a reusable product to bat. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just think of how much paper you use on a daily basis, and then if that were to be exchanged with hemp, and when that's replaced with hemp, how much we are going to save, how many trees we're going to save, how much fresh air we're going to have. Look, even if you got a 1/4 acre of property, grow some hemp in your backyard. Of course, get your license. I ain't saying, anybody go out there and get in any trouble right now. It'll be available to us soon recreationally, but go out there and get your licensing, whatever you need from the state, and see if you can grow, even just for the environmental effects, right? So that's my 2 little cents on innovation and just the thought process behind it.
Amazing. I just want to say, touch on the dating context. So it's
Uh-oh. Symbolic, you're
Yeah, he might be tapped out.
yeah,
That bandwidth is being eaten alive. Yeah, so but while we wait on Symbolic to come back, Mercy, coming in strong with what's going on with the cannabis industry. One thing one thing I really took from that is that we need everybody in the cannabis industry. One thing I love about Tech Misfits is that they tell you, straight, we need more of us, more diverse personnel in the tech industry, because right now this tech is being controlled by people who don't look like us, and whoever controls the tech ultimately controls the future and the world and the direction. And what we want to do is uh, in the same light. We want our people to control this industry, an industry that we've been hurt by, and finally turn it around to something that we can use. Everybody in this room has skills that can be transferred into the cannabis industry, skills or resources. Since this is Black NFT art, we need artists, we need musical artists, visual artists, digital, every type of artist. We need you in the cannabis industry because the message has to change, the culture has to change. We can't be talking about just smoking something just to get elevated. We can't keep talking about smoking something just to get high, or even just saying I'm just getting high or anything. That defeats the purpose. Cannabis is intentional. We need to navigate this plant with full intention, and everybody within the web3 field, within STEM, within art itself, can make an impact on making this culture better than what it is. And that's what we're doing with the Seedverse. We're presenting a story that is told in an Afrofuturistic lens where the battle is won. We won the battle. We embraced cannabis into our culture. We've used it to build an empire, to build, renewable energy, to build that real life Wakanda. That is possible. It really bothers me when we can go put this movie at an all-time high gross numbers, more than 2 billion earned, but we can't make this happen in actuality. The vibranium, I'll keep saying this, vibranium is cannabis, cannabis is vibranium. They can do the same things. They can emit energy. They are strong as one another. Cannabis is strong as steel and tougher than cotton. It can be used, like Mercy was saying, into more than 50,000 use cases while cleansing the world and helping us medically. We're seeing right now with the pharmaceutical industry, they're taking a little hit, or not a little, they're taking a hit as medical cannabis is introduced to every state and recreational becomes legalized. More and more pharmaceutical industries are going to be hit and hurting, and that's why they're trying to get in the industry now. But we have to counter that. They are the anti-culture. They are only for profit. We are for purpose. We want to make sure that our people are ingesting things that are clean, not smoking things that can shrivel up your balls and make your semen not useful, or even having drugs or having synthetic cannabis that has THC that's 30-40%. Those are the things that have happened to the culture because we've essentially allowed them to take over. We have to take it back. And that starts with us understanding our position in the culture and reversing it. And that's what the Seedverse is all about. We are depicting a story where we've won the battle, like I said before, but of course, you have your deviants out there who are going to constantly try to push whatever they can to destroy the culture and, to be able to earn a buck from it. So it's a very long and detailed story. I created this world and the narrative. It took me about 6 months to create the world. Right now, we're going to be issuing out comic book series, just dictating what's happening in the world of the Seedverse, or specifically Ion, where all of this is going to be happening. So I don't want to keep on talking. I see a lot of people uh, in the space right now. I want more people to come on stage just so we can speak, so you guys can understand what we're doing with Ceed Inc. and how Seed Verse transfers into that.
And then, before we do that, I just want to jump in. I wish that we could. I wonder if Kwame, are you back? Because we can definitely share a tweet with the image of the NFTs that will go live at the end of this week.
Right. I think
There's already one up. I pinned a tweet.
you don't see it. And am I back? You tell me. I don't know.
Yeah, you're.
Like it just doesn't show up reliably for everyone, or I've seen notice that, but there is a tweet that's pinned.
Involved.
Yes,
So
give us the back run and you know, give us the background on it, because you just went. Who are the characters that they see?
So Ceed verse is, like I said before, is our introduction to Afrofuturism powered by cannabis. We're showing you what it looks like when a community embraces cannabis and uses it as a vehicle to reestablishing our empire. You know, we've ruled before in the past, but it's been so long that we don't understand how from the darkness of the war on drugs. You know, that really had an impact on us as an African diaspora everywhere. Um, you know, locking up our men, really changing our mindsets, it just in embedding fear into our mindsets when it comes to trying to try new things out, but also trying to get into the business of things. It really deterred us from ownership and only making us consumers, and you know, constantly perpetuating that victimization. So this storyline, it starts off in the year 2066. Have to go into the future because this is Afrofuturistic, and each character is going to be depicted with their, I won't say superpowers, but I will say they are cannabis enhancements. Each of their cannabis enhancements are things that can actually happen, specifically or pertaining to IVs. His avatar is actually named Zakif. Keef being a concentrate of cannabis. So in each avatar,
Not the avatar in his current profile. His we have an avatar that is somewhat modeled after Ivy.
no, that's the avatar I'm talking about.
On Ivy Produce. Are
Yes.
you? Oh, okay. Oh, his looks different for me. Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah. So take that seat, mama.
Yeah, no,
So
it looks different. It shows a different profile picture, and then when I go to it, it's different. Okay, y'all, my Twitter is completely tripping.
tweet. Yeah, so each avatar is going to, you know, show a different historical prominence or relevance to the cannabis industry. Keef being something that is used as a concentrate to smoke with your or consume with your cannabis, and then the suit itself. His suit is made of hemp. He's actually a character that designed these suits for all of our avatars within the comic book series, and on his neck you'll see an attachment, and that's actually a drone, and its initials are TEV, Tactical Extension Vehicle, and this drone can be deployed wherever the avatar wants it to. So, you know, it could be deployed just to scout. It could be deployed just to do, you know, recon missions. You know, this is a warfare story. I did want to mention that I was in the Marine Corps, so that is part of the reason why there will be, you know, battles occurring within the storyline. Looking at further designs within IV's avatar Zakif, you see the along with the TEV attachment, his suit is lit up. That's because it emits electricity. The TEV attachment charges the suit. Cannabis and hemp, or hemp is can conduct electricity. That's something that a lot of people don't remember or don't understand. So within his suit, he can emit as well as hold charges that can be stored throughout the entire suit, giving him levitation, but also giving him, you know, some types of blasters. So when you look at Tev or IV, when you look at that Zakif character, you could think of Static Shock. You could think of the Falcon with that attachment that he had. And I mean, there are you could think of Shuri when it comes to the technological genius. So his character has so much involved in one, but everything within his suit is strictly powered by cannabis. Even the attachments on his forearms, those are actually how he pilots the TEV attachment once it's deployed. So those are just a few designs that you'll see within these NFTs. Each of them has technical enhancements. Like we said with Ceed Inc., we're all about making sure that we enhance and we incorporate STEM into cannabis. So we're showcasing this within these NFTs, and everything that you see on the NFTs, the avatars, from the hair down, is a technical enhancement. Nothing on them is just for show. Everything has intention, just like our business. Everything has prominence, and everything has scientific and historical fact and narrative to it.
Yovan, I gotta say, I'm seeing this the same way. So I want everyone to click on IV, who's right near the top, IV produce, and then you see a different avatar, and you just skip by. Yo, IV produce has an avatar that is modeled after him. What? And,
Yes.
and also that like the fact the what you're saying about the powers and the fact that it ties to actual technology and potential. This is all amazing. So yo, click through and check out that art. It's beautiful. Oh, now I see it. Now I see it on the normally, but just
I knew I wasn't tripping.
Shout out.
yeah. No, but regardless, click on it. Click and check out that art. It's beautiful. That's all I wanted to say.
Much love, Symbolic. Granddaddy Woo, what's good, brother?
Hey, appreciate y'all having me up. Just want to take a quick second while I had the chance, just to say big ups and congrats to y'all. I came across y'all probably about a month or so ago, and I just kind of been following just a little bit on the side, and y'all are probably the second cannabis related Web3 that I've come across that I actually like and enjoy. First one I think was Grow Gods. I've seen a few other ones here and there, but um, I just like the aspect of the black and the cannabis merging together. And I've been trying to find my way into the cannabis space for some time. So it's always dope when I get a chance to actually see ones that I can actually, potentially be a part of. And if it suits me right, hopefully I can bring some value in return. So I just want to say big ups to y'all. Looking forward to see what y'all have going on. And hopefully I can just stay posted and tap in. So I appreciate y'all.
Much love. Oh, you definitely tap in. I see artist, beat maker, composer, musician. We were in another Twitter space a few weeks ago, and I had mentioned that Ceedverse is collabing with Ivy Produce to create a soundtrack not only for our marketing but for the Ceedverse itself. We do have a teaser trailer on YouTube today. We will have the full trailer out the sometime within the week. I can't give an exact date on that because it's still in progress. But we like I said, we want to make sure that we integrate every skill that is within this community into the cannabis space. Granddaddy Woo, you're an artist. We need these beats, these frequencies get through to our people. It elevates them. Not only are they elevated by the use of cannabis and even the thought of cannabis, but they're elevated by the beat, making it an intentional beat, something that's positive and not any type of negative trap drums. These are extremely important for us. We want to make sure that everything is intentional. I don't want to stress that enough. It's really important for us to actually know why we're doing things instead of just doing them to do them, or doing them because we saw someone on the news or someone famous doing them. We have, a brain, and we have that relevance to understand why we want to do things. So I appreciate your comment. I want you guys you can actually go to our OpenSea profile to check out some of the other artwork. They're extremely dope. We had the artwork done by an African artist, Chaleshe Timbo. He's not on this call right now, but we definitely want to have him brought on just to show his skill, his craft, how he and the Seedverse worked together. It was really synchronous. There was synchronicity when we worked together. You know, it wasn't hard at all. He understood where we were coming from. We were telling him, Mercy and I, that, you know, we want to come from a Wakandan standpoint, but we want it to be grounded and we want it to be real. So you'll see some similarities, but you'll see a lot of, you know, big differences. Our tech, you know, I'm not going to, you know, brag or boast, but our tech is more enhanced than the Wakandians, you know, sorry about that. Our team is almost a rated R version, if you will, of the the Black Panther version. You know, we're going up against the government with we're going against the government mixed with technology. So this is almost like a brainiac. If you're familiar with DC, we're going against that. We're going against creatures that were created by the government. So, you know, there are a lot of things that are going to be put into our way that we have to defend against in order to save the world. But you're seeing the same thing done today. We're living the same thing in our actual life. We have to go against so many barriers, so much resistance, but it's important for us to keep moving forward and to progress together. This is a team of 7. Their name is the Midnight Relics. They are a combination of spiritual, technological enhancements. They're a combination of many things that, you know, are protruded in the from Black culture, are martial arts. You know, things that, you know, don't have too much I don't want to say value, but they don't have too much relevance when it comes to African culture. You know, when we talk about martial arts, you hear a lot about Asian martial arts specifically, and I really wanted to touch on the martial arts that were created by the diaspora and give some type of historical relevance to that, as well as and a historical relevance to us as agriculturalists. I see Monica in the building. Did she leave? I think she left, but she is a farmer, and I stress on her part. She's doing her thing. She has been farming for a while now. We've touched bases on, you know, helping one another, helping her with her farm and her helping us out with our farm with Black Lotus Organics. It's really about that community and that camaraderie and the collaboration. That's something that Tech Misfits does, you know, so well, so perfectly, and we want to emulate that, collaborating with everybody in every way that we can, so that, you know, we benefit mutually. There's no reason for one of us to benefit and the others not to. Yeah, so I don't want to keep on talking too much. Getting a little cottonmouth. What you guys thinking, Mercy?
And then just to clarify, Black Lotus Organics is a team of 4 wonderful brothers, including Vaughn himself, and then a few other members of the Chamber of Black Markets, whose icon you'll see right on the screen beneath mine. Chamber of Black Markets is a collective between myself, Vaughn, Ivy Produced, Dr. True, and Dr. Chris, all on the call, and a few other beautiful aligned souls. We all went through that cannabis, the social equity program here in Maryland, and we all came to the same result, which is that without community, without us standing up to actually do the work that it's going to take to change our community, to end food deserts, to provide access to health and wellness products, to create the life that we seek, that it's not going to happen for us. So we all got together, and we're building a very beautiful, meaningful collective under the name of the Chamber of Black Markets. And Black Lotus Organics are 4 brothers from the Chamber of Black Markets who are actually leading the hemp farming efforts for us here in the state of Maryland and beyond. So definitely tap into the Chamber of Black Markets. Tap in with Sis Dr. Chris, Dr. True, and Ivy Produce. All of these are co-founders of the Chamber of Black Black Markets, and Sis Dr. Chris and Dr. True are dentists who actually use, they actually are using cannabis in their dental practice, and they also offer cannabis certifications. So make sure that you tap in. It's a village, y'all. It's all a collective. We are not in this alone. It takes everybody to do all of the work that needs to be done, and we are building all of that together. I just want to say that every single character in the Age of Annihilation, in the Ceedverse NFT world, right? Ceedverse is the Web3 world. Age of Annihilation is the first chapter. All of those characters all of the warriors, the Midnight Relics, all of those characters are influenced by different aspects of people that are around us. Like Tev, definitely. I mean, Tev is cybersecurity, just like Vaughn is. And they're so analytical and they're so technical. Their ingenuity just is endless, right? But then we also have Dr. True, who just inspired so much of Aga, and just her spirituality and just her effortlessness. She is so... Dr. True does a lot of stuff, and she's so quiet. We call her the silent assassin because she's just out here quietly murdering all the tasks that need to be done. And so we gain a lot of spirituality and a lot of that hard work and determination, that push through. We took a lot of that from her character and added into one of the characters. Dr. Chris is so graceful in her leadership of the Chamber of Black Markets and just establishing these global and domestic relationships and partners. And she's just so elegant in the way that she does everything and how poised she is and how well she leads us. And she's just such a beautiful soul to be inspired by. And she a direct or indirect influence on just the different elements and attributes and characteristics that were put into each of these different characters that you'll see on the Ceedverse. So again, if you missed it, go to Ivy Produce's profile and click on that image so that you can see, click on the link to our OpenSea so that you can see the rest of the NFTs that we currently have available right now. Okay, this is a soft launch. We really actually are just opening this up to private communities and our family and friends before we completely launch this Friday, where we'll have 100 of the NFTs available. We're doing seven separate drops of NFTs. And right now, well, actually, we have a little bit more than 100 because Vaughn been working. Vaughn been out there working. This man and his dedication, I humbly respect my husband, and I love doing business with him. He picks up the slack where I am not able to do so, and he does even more above and beyond. All of this is his brainchild, his big, beautiful brain at work. And really, we're just offering a new outlook, a new perspective. We're offering inspiration and hope in the form of NFTs. Not only are you acquiring an asset that is going to appreciate in value, because this is just the beginning. It's the NFTs. There's a DAO community coming. And then once the Ceed platform launches in early 2023, our stock is going to continue to keep rising. So just join, ride the wave, jump on in, join us now and watch it grow. And so not only are we offering, these beautiful, inspirational and actionable artworks, but we're also creating a community where our token holders will be able to vote and have authority and autonomy to help us navigate which projects we're going to do in the near future. And we've got ideas and partners already starting on building a smart city, and hemp farms and all of these different things that we need as a community in order to create self-sustainability and to offer us us economic power as we move forward. So, She Bites, I saw your hand up, sis.
Let me find out y'all are in the DMV.
Yes, we are, sis. We right here in Maryland. Come on through.
Yes, let's go. Oh
Wait, are
my
you in the
goodness.
DMV?
I'm not in the DMV, but I'm from the DMV. So
Oh,
I'm
okay.
Okay.
always, yes, I'm always trying to rep and connect with folks from the DMV. But you already answered my question. So basically, we need to support the NFT collection that's doing the soft launch now. And then we need to follow, like, subscribe. We need to boost everything that has to do with the Seedverse, right? And then that's going to continue to grow. I just wanted to see what we need to do to make certain that we amplify everything y'all are doing. And I feel like you already covered it.
You said it better than I did. You want to join our marketing department? Yeah,
I
okay.
just
Yes, ma'am.
I love it. I just love the idea, and I love that y'all are taking it in this, like taking all of the historic wrongs that have happened to us and just flipping it on its head to create something so positive and so influential to, boost the community. It's amazing. So I just wanted to make certain that I knew exactly what I needed to do in order to make sure that y'all are as successful as possible. So thank y'all so much for sharing this.
Man, we appreciate that love. Thank you.
And if I could say, if you're already on the Umbadaima Discord, you can flip between channels. Seedverse has their own section in there. If you're not, go to discord.umbadaima.com and select Seedverse, and we'll be able to continue the conversation. I also wanted to say I jumped on this OpenSea. These look amazing, and you can see different attributes. Like, okay, I want to say more about your OpenSea specifically, but first I want to ask, what is bio war paint? What is bio war paint?
Yes. Yes. So by a show of reactions, who's familiar with the Predator? The 21st century, Prey just came out on Hulu. Who's familiar with the Predator?
Got to be more than that. Got to be more. Throw up
Well,
those hearts.
I'm just letting you guys know. So, I don't see too many in there, but the Predator is a creature that is from space that has this helmet, and this helmet can project different variations of heat signatures, cold signatures. It can change. It can show different depths in the atmosphere. So this bio paint or this bio warfare paint does the exact same thing, only less tech. It doesn't need you don't need a bulky ass helmet in order to do this. The paint is applied to their faces, just like you can see on Ivy's avatar. And another thing, Ivy's character is actually the one who created the bio warfare paint. So once the paint is applied to the character's skin, it enhances their optics, but also gives them different variations of depths into the atmosphere. So if I wanted to see someone's heat signature, I could blink my eyes and see it. So we're tapping into Afrofuturism. Bring that fantasy out. Show exactly what you mean and what I mean by futurism. Things that haven't been done yet. And again, putting that intentionality to things. When you see war paint, it obviously means, a tribe or, to show some type of threat. But this war paint has a technological use and enhancement to it. That is, something that other people won't be able to. I mean, you wouldn't think that this paint would do that just based on it being on your face. So the suits are, things are embedded within the suits that you'll be able to see once you take a closer look. And everything, from, like I said, the hair down has a meaning. The hair specifically, I love the idea of the crown tech, and I could talk about that just for a second. So the crown tech, I'm sure everyone's familiar with the Crowns Act that was passed, I believe, last year, but it was essentially giving or telling workplaces that they couldn't discriminate against people who had different types of hair, different textures, and whatnot. Now, this crown tech is something that was created by Dakala. That's another character of ours. And crown tech essentially activates your hair as a defense mechanism. So instead of you having to react to something, a threat that may be behind you, your hair will react. It can form into different shapes, solids, just like our hair does right now. But it is extremely reactive, dense. So, even someone with a bald head like Tev or IV, his would react. The hair fibers would stand up and stiffen, to the point where if you smacked his face or he fell on the ground, it would feel like steel. So, bringing the awareness to cannabis being, medicinal and being indestructible, going right into technology.
Amazing. Amazing. We're gonna go for probably another 15 minutes. We started out rocky with the feed, so if y'all are good with that seed verse, then we'll go for another 15 minutes if you're good.
Oh, I dig that. Yeah, I love it. Once again, I appreciate everyone who took their time to come in this Twitter space with us. Extreme gratitude for you all. I hope to see you all on our newsletter. We broadcast different utility all the time, along with the comic book, along with our network. Chamber of Black Markets are doing incredible things, and we want to make sure that you guys are involved in that as well. And, make sure you just tap in. You can go to projectseed.io, and the seed is with a C. That's strategic. Once again, everything is intentional and strategic.
Yo, I want to bring y'all. I want to be down, is what I'm saying. I want to bring y'all to Canada. I was gonna say earlier, like Canada, that it's been legalized, and it's weed shops, dispensaries are everywhere. Like they're popping up everywhere, but I can't find black dispensaries. And I love that you're talking beyond cannabis dispensaries. You're talking about the technology and the business and the adjacent businesses. So that's amazing. I want to give a shout out to African Museum of the Metaverse. Shout out to y'all. Yo, Anno's in the place. Yo, shout out to everybody. Now, I wanted to say you should go to OpenSea.io and look up Seedverse, everybody, and you can see this beautiful art. I love that you said it's okay, African. I don't know if you said specifically what country, but this is a Pan African movement. Simply because you're saying that, and you right. Just come again.
I'm feeding into you, Symbolic. Keep on going.
Yeah. So you can check out this art. You can check out the attributes. That's what I was noticing, and I love that. The fact that okay, what I was gonna mention. Like, yes, beautiful art, but I'm scrolling your feed. I'm seeing some kilobytes in there. I'm seeing some meta knights in there. I'm seeing Afro droids. I'm seeing 20 deuce. And on and on. I'm seeing a rise token. I'm seeing an Onaji. So that kind of shows something. And I was, even as you were speaking, I was thinking about the Meta Knights because they're focusing on a particular thing. They're not focusing on cannabis. They're focusing on data rights, data security, and so forth. And when we pull this all together, and then you're doing something similar as well. You're telling a story that's so powerful. And then that the fact that IV is down with the program, I'm like, oh, word. Yes, you have this music and how music, it's been such a powerful tool of ours. And so, I want to be down for sure. Go and check out this. Look them up. Look up Seedverse as well. Continue the conversation on the Discord. That's what I wanted to say.
Big love, Symbolic. I do want to touch on another thing because I don't want people just to think that Seed Inc. and Seedverse is, or specifically Seed Inc. is just helping Black entrepreneurs get into the industry, even though that is a extreme accomplishment or task that we're going for. With my experience and knowledge within the industry, we are tapping into every part of cannabis with this application. So we're tapping into the cannabis industry itself. These dispensaries, these cultivation centers, these processing centers. We're tapping into all the ancillary businesses. We're aggregating all of those businesses, their licenses into our platform so that you can essentially figure out how you can or have a conversation with the person in order to get your product on their retail shelf. It's about visibility, and it's about really finding the gaps within the cannabis industry. There are multiple gaps. We spoke with, I'm sure some of you have seen Zania. She reps the Cali dispensary cookies, and there aren't any applications to help people who work in dispensaries. This is where Ceed Inc. also comes in. We help, I won't go too in depth with that, but we help people who are actually working within the industry, uh, along with getting people to actually get jobs, and beyond that, to obtain ownership. So we're tapping into every part of cannabis and hemp that you can think of. We're not just a networking application. We're not just focused on ownership. We're focusing on controlling our narrative and making sure that we have the power. We want you to, join the app and essentially take the power to yourself. You have the power. You have all of the resources now at your realm once you get into our network and on our app. Mercy, I see you over there. What's up?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, just to give it a little bit of alineation. Once with the Ceed NFTs, of course, if anybody missed that, we were denied by payment processors back and forth. And, our legal team went back and forth with them. Just there was no end to it. So we are fundraising through the NFTs. Over the next 7 months, we'll be releasing 100 NFTs on a drip basis. And each NFT will focus on the different characters. And by fundraising through those NFTs, our token holders will get first right of refusal, first exclusive access to our DAO community that will be launching very soon as well. And within the DAO community, so our NFTs have utility, right? So within the DAO community, you'll have voting opportunities and ways to get involved with projects that are available. And then in early 2023, we'll have the launch of the Ceed platform, the actual web application that is the Ceed platform. And just to tie in what Vaughn was saying, not only will you be able to get on there and see available roles and apply for certifications for actual cannabis certification and licensing, but we also will have desensitized anonymized data to help you build your business. What types of inventions and creations are out there? What type of accessibility is needed? How can I jump into the industry and get started? So we'll also be giving you inspiration and data information that helps to power your decisions. You'll be able to network with people your network is your net worth. Umba Daima and Tech Misfits just hosted a space talking about this last week, how your network is your net worth. You'll be able to get on there and network. There are advisors who are on the platform who will be able to guide you through your business. So you'll get mentorship. There are investors who are going to be on the platform. So you'll be able to get investment and have accessibility to people who have either the affluential means, the monetary means to help you take your business to the next level, or they have a space that you can use like farmland or a kitchen space if you want to create medical or edible grade products, production facilities. There is so much that you will be able to do on this app. That we just really wanted to empower the community because we are B1, Black first, for us, by us. And when we say Black first, we mean everyone across the diaspora. I know that there are a lot of people who try to, say like, oh, if you're from the islands, you're a different kind of Black, or if you're from Africa, you're a different kind of Black. No, absolutely not. We all have the same problems and we are all here to solve the same solutions. This ain't got nothing to do with where you are geographically. If you are Black, we on, look, what did oh God, what's his name, babe? The artist that we listen to, Toby Ingwe. What they say, if you're black, we on the same page. We see you and you see us. And so really we need that type of community alignment, and we need that type of togetherness in order to accomplish anything. We even have people who are part of the Chamber of Black Markets. One of our closest brothers and workers at Hithian, he's not black. He's Indian. His family is East Indian, but he identifies as black because he understands the struggle, right? He understands what we went through. And I'm not talking about no Rachel Dolezal type actions. I'm talking about this man, really helps and mess with the black community. He really, supports us. He brings health and nutrition to our communities, these people. So it's not about, you're not able to check a box. This has absolutely nothing to do with this. We are getting out of the mindset. We are elevating beyond the mindset of checking a box. That is an American institution. That's an American mindset. It's a very slave-like mindset, and it's very divisive. We're not talking about, you need to be this type of black. No, all of our people. And if you are an ally and you identify with what we're going through, and your mission is the same as ours, which is to elevate the economic empowerment and build generational wealth of Black people, then you are absolutely more than welcome to join the community. But the mission needs to be the same, and that is our only mission, and that is to advance Black people. So on the Ceed app, you will be able to do all of those things. We would love to be able to launch sooner, but we know that our developers need that time. But by supporting us, you can go to seedverse.nft on OpenSea. You can go to Project Seed_IO on Twitter. And by supporting us, you'll see in the email, we just recently posted an email, a tweet that linked to our email list. By joining our email list, or you can follow the link that's in our bio. By joining the email list, you'll get exclusive access to when our NFT projects drop, and you'll have that exclusive pricing and exclusive availability, because Von has put his heart and soul into them, and all of them are absolutely magnificent, but some of them are just so like crazy, beautiful, and detailed that we wanted to open it up to our community first, our friends and family, before we open it up to the public, because we feel like they deserve that for riding with us this long. So definitely join our email list, and in doing so and becoming a token holder, and collecting our NFTs by joining our community on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and email. Also on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, we post a lot of thought leadership stuff. By joining us, you'll get not only exclusive accessibility to those things, but also you'll get to know when that app launches. And that's literally everybody can and should be on the app. There is no reason why any person who has any type of skill, talent, or interest can't actually use that to help benefit and boost cannabis businesses and cannabis entrepreneurs, while at the same time building your own network and your own net worth.
Amazing. Beautiful. So I don't know if there's anything that you want to say in closing. I mean, that was pretty good, but this was beautiful. I do want to say we're going to be going in further. We're gonna have Ceed on Ceed Inc. on the On Point show. That's Daima. Make sure you're following Daima, and that's on Wednesday evening. On Point show is a talk show. We talk about everything Web3, and we collectively, in a conversation with everyone in the room, decide what's on point and what's not. As far as our guests, we know it's on point when it's our guests, but we still go in on other subjects, and we're going to go in on cannabis and cannabis adjacent tech and Seedverse. And then we on the Tech Misfits show, Tech Misfits Unite. That's on Thursday evening at 7. If I didn't say so, it's Wednesday, on point. It's Wednesday at 7, and then on Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern time, we will talk Web3 and cannabis. and go further. So, do you all want to say anything in closing?
I think Von's holding our brand new baby daughter. Y'all, we have a 10-week-old, so bear with us also.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. Yes, a new business and a new baby is all a lot, but we are doing it because that's what our community deserves. Nobody else can do this work. I will just reiterate that we believe that we are enough. We are enough, point blank, period. We don't need no help. We don't need no government. We don't need outside influences or outside, people, coming in and helping and trying to figure out what we need and offering, these half-ass social equity programs. We are enough, and we are talented and skilled enough to be the change that we seek in our communities. And Ceed fully believes that, that's why our platform is B1 for us, by us, and really supports everything that our community is trying to do. And so there's space at the table for every single person, no matter what your skill set, your interests, your talents, etc. So definitely join us. And together we will realize Afrofuturism powered by cannabis.
Amazing. Thank you so much for visiting us at BNA Community Hangout. We look forward to hearing the story progressing as you build it out. Yeah, we're down. We're down with like, hey, yo, you bring it. And so, you're really truly inspirational. And we look forward to seeing this being built out.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks for being here, everyone. Thank you for being here with us. Make sure that you follow, jump on their Discord, and contribute to the movement as much as you can. Everybody have a beautiful remainder of your Sunday.
Monday.
Oh, yeah. Shit, it's a holiday. You're right. Of course. Like every week on Monday, we do BNA Community Hangout. Yes.
Family, thanks y'all for coming through.
Peace, y'all.